Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity baby dow.
Wahoo!
Oh,
And we're back.
Yeah, we're back. What? Huh?
What?
Yes.
Huh? We're back with episode number 85 of American Brews and Tunes. My name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And this is a one-off.
Yeah, another fun one-off episode.
For everybody who knows what a one-off is, it's one of those. For everyone else, it's where we just review one album and one beer.
Yeah, one album that we're both enjoying quite a bit.
Yeah, well, we don't have to be enjoying it, just one in general.
True.
I suppose we haven't really reviewed a one-off that we don't like, but it
Yeah.
could happen one day. You never know.
You never know.
But that's what we're doing. And today we're reviewing a new album by Blink-182.
Woo!
It's their most recent release titled 9.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9. 9.
999.
But before we get into that glorious album, let's talk about this brew that we're having, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
We're going back to a brew by Stone.
Yeah.
I guess we've had one of the Arrogant Bastards recently, but before that, I feel like it's been a minute since we've had like just a Stone beer in general.
It has been a minute. I'm pretty excited about this one.
Me too. It's a different one, that's for sure.
It definitely is.
We are having it's the 20th anniversary, so this was brewed and bottled in 2015.
Yep.
The Encore series, the Stone Vertical Epic 888 Ale.
Yeah, so I think it's based on a beer they brewed
in 2008.
In 2008, yeah.
They made this beer pretty much like on their anniversary every year, I think.
Yeah.
So there was like all the way back to 2000, whenever it was. Yeah. So they had all kinds of different beers. Do you have a good description of this?
I do. On our favorite beer app called Untapped.
What a great app.
The description that they give for this beer is the Stone 888 Vertical Epic Ale is a strong Belgian-style IPA, highly hopped with American hops. I'm going to try to say the word of these hops right now.
Good luck.
Atanum, A-H-T-A-N-U-M, Atanum,
I don't know.
Amarillo, and Simcoe. The beer pours pale golden with a thick and creamy white head of foam. The aroma is full of depth. Nuances of pepper, clove, and banana from the Belgian yeast strain, and the resiny citrus notes from the American hops blend together nicely to provide a complex aromatic character. The taste is spicy, hoppy, and fruity, with a very dry and pleasant bitter end. The bitterness lingers nicely and provides a refreshing finish.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited to try this beer.
Delicious sounding.
It
Yeah,
does
I'm
sound-
excited to try it too. Shall we give it a crack and a pour, you think?
Yeah, let's give it a crack and a pour.
So we're splitting a bomber today, so it's just one single bottle. And that had a nice little on it. Sometimes when you age the beers, they'll lose a little bit of that carbonation.
Yeah, I wonder if because this one's a Belgian style IPA, it's like, I don't know, more carbonated.
Yeah, Belgians in general seem to be a little bit more carbonated, a little bit lighter on the mouthfeel, more bubbly.
Yeah, and we already mentioned this was bottled in 2015, right?
Correct. So it was like they remade the recipe that they did in 2008.
Yeah, so this beer has been aging for 4 years.
It's got a nice white head, as you had mentioned.
Yeah.
I'm going to give us both a little bit of
A little bit of sediment.
just to make sure we maximize our flavor.
Yeah. Because as you all know, sediment has a lot of flavor in it.
Well, yeah, it should. One would hope. What are you getting on that's nose, the smell?
I'm definitely getting the Belgian smells.
Yes,
All
from
the
yeast.
The Belge smells.
The Belgian smells. Straight from that Belgian yeast.
A lot of that those peppery notes and the clove and the banana on the nose. So
the smells remind me of like a classic Belgian beer, but also of a specific Belgian brew, the Saison. I'm getting a little bit of Saison flavors, which would be that's peppery spiciness.
Yeah.
Smells nice. It's got a really nice head on it. I'm actually pretty surprised by that. I didn't think there would be.
I'm pretty surprised that after 4 years.
Yeah.
it still has that much of a head.
Yeah, it's nice
Looks
and
good.
it's real bubbly, all kinds of different size bubbles, and it's got good substance.
Yeah.
The color is it's a slightly hazy pale orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Looks
looks
pretty
nice.
normal. Looks good.
Should we give it a cheers and give it a try?
Let's give it a cheers and a try.
As we always say on American Brews and Tunes, shibbity people too. Got my falsetto back.
Yeah, you can do that. The regular cheers now.
Yes, I can. Down the falsetto hatch. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
The hops come through, which when I think Belgian beers, I don't think hoppy.
Yeah.
But this is a Belgian style IPA, so
Yeah.
it's from Stone, so you know they're going to be hopping this one.
Wow. Yeah, that the hops really come through in the aftertaste.
They're not as bold up front. I'm not sure if that's because that's the style they were going for or because it has been aged so long. Because sometimes that fresh hoppiness goes away after several months of not drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And so since this one's been aged a while, the hop potency has definitely decreased. But it's still really bitter, like a nice hoppy bitterness in the aftertaste.
Yeah, and
You get all those Belgian flavors up front. Nice light mouthfeel.
You definitely get like the classic like pepper and clove and only a slight banana, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, it's not like super. It's not like Hefeweizen banana-y.
Yeah. It's not as banana-y as a banana-y as a Hefeweizen. And then you definitely do get that really nice kind of like citrus hop punch at the end. And that flavor comes to you at the end of the mouthfeel, which is actually pretty nice. It's kind of a nice combo.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I would have never thought that like having a Belgian and then having some like nice hops at the end would be pleasant, but it really is.
It's quite an enjoyable beer. I like it. I almost forgot about this one and just
happened to see it today.
Yeah, well, no, I saw it in my I want to say my beer cellar, but it's my closet.
Yeah,
I saw it in my beer closet. Just kidding. It's my linens closet, and I just keep beer in the bottom shelf in the dark. It's the right temperature, and it keeps them well. But I saw it, and I was like, that'd be a good one to try.
And this one comes in at 8.9%.
Yes.
So it's not a light beer in terms of that. But I'm pretty satisfied with this beer. And as always, if the taste of the beer or the flavors of the beer change at all, we will let you guys know.
Otherwise,
it's time to get talking about good old Blink-182.
They are good and they are old, but they're also young because they're living their best life. You know? They're just all kinds of youth and blame and all kinds of crap like that. But no, let's talk about Blink-182's most recent album, 9.
Yeah, let's do that.
How recent it was released in 2019 on September 20th, my birthday. Wow, happy birthday to me.
I think they planned that.
They definitely did because
they know that's your birthday.
Neighborhoods came out 1 week after my birthday, and I was like literally the 27th of September. I was like, oh, you guys, what are you doing?
Bummed.
You missed it by a week. So I think they adjusted accordingly.
They somehow heard about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Through the grapevine,
through
as
me.
it were.
Probably through Twitter.
Did you say that?
I don't know. I've tweeted them.
Funny.
I tweeted them to change the lyrics to What's My Age Again when I was 23. They did not listen. Oh, well. This was named because it is Blink's 9th studio album.
Yes.
And apparently that's contested. I never thought it was.
I don't know.
A lot of people think it's the 8th because a lot of people don't count Buddha as a studio album. I mean, I count it. Mark and Travis count it, so I feel like it should be.
You definitely have to count it then.
Some people don't because it's like the one you get on a CD is like a reissue of their original cassette tape, but the cassette tape was still their first album.
Yeah.
They re-recorded like 2 or 3 songs and put them on Cheshire Cat, but I say that that Buddha counts as their first studio record, making number 9 the 9th album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a simple name.
This is Skiba's second album.
Correct. Matt Skiba, who took over for Tom DeLonge, has been in Blink for now 2 albums worth.
Yeah.
And 1 deluxe album.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so.
That should have been its own album. But
I mean, it makes sense that they don't release it as a separate one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it necessarily fit in
Well,
100% with California.
Really?
They could have probably put it in by itself.
I mean, that's what Radiohead did with Kid A and Insomniac.
Yeah, they just split them into 2 albums.
They were like, hey, Kid A is this album, but these are also songs that we
Did it at the same time?
did at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently for In Rainbows, there's a whole second disc of other... like.
Is it really?
That's what I've heard. I haven't listened to it.
Which one is that, though? What's
I
it
don't know.
called?
In Rainbows Disc 2? I don't know. But back to this.
Have you listened to that album yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I am just starting to listen to Hail to the Thief now.
Okay.
So after I kind of digest that one, I'm going to move on to In Rainbows.
I think you'll like In Rainbows.
That's
really
what I've
good.
heard. I've heard it's one of their best ones.
Anyway.
Yeah, so 9 is following, as we said, the 8th album, Grammy-nominated California. California was a huge commercial success, obviously nominated for the Grammys, and the only way to be nominated for the Grammys is if you sell a bunch.
Yeah. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, I'm not cynical. But
The,
Blink-182 is,
most awards like that are all kind of dumb.
I mean, it's awesome that they got recognized finally. They should have been nominated for Enema of the State. That was like a multi-platinum record.
Enema of the State or
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket was number 1. Like they should have been at least nominated before. I don't know how they weren't.
Yeah.
But who
just
knows?
Silly punk.
Who cares? But there were some complaints about California.
Yeah.
Including John Feldman's influence in overproduction.
Yeah.
The woes and the na-na-nas.
Yep.
And that it didn't break any new ground. It was kind of like a nostalgic record.
Yeah.
But I think that was the intention. I really don't have any problems with any of those things. I can see them as valid complaints, and I'm not gonna say like you're dumb for thinking that this album's stupid. That makes sense. I understand that.
The only one that I partially agree with is the overproduction of it. Personally, I am not the biggest fan of like way like overproduced. Like, you know, it almost sounds.
And they did it on California for sure.
It almost sounds like metallic's not the right word, but do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's why the Dogs Eating Dogs EP was so good. It was super raw sounding.
Yeah.
We'll review that another time.
But anyway, and that's my only complaint with this new album too.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. This was supposed to be released in the late spring, like the early summer.
This album 9 was?
9 was supposed to be. That's what they had said multiple times, but they pushed it back because they just like kept writing. Like they had written like 20 or 30, maybe even more songs, and they just kind of felt like they were reinventing California, so they just scrapped everything and restarted pretty much. So there's a whole bunch of unused stuff that they've got somewhere, which I wish I could hear. Maybe eventually they'll release it.
They'll be like, "Hey, this is our secret disc of old songs that we didn't want to use. Here you go. Do what you want with it."
I'd pay money for it. But they teased that they were testing out like new stuff and going like new directions, new sounds.
Yeah.
And they hinted that this album would be closer to like a sequel to the Untitled album.
I don't think so.
I can see why they said that, but I don't necessarily say that either.
I get the reasoning that they did say that. It is. I'll say it's very different than California.
Yes, and I think that's definitely a goal.
But it's definitely not like as big of a shift from Take Off Your Pants and Jacket to Untitled.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that's like a 180 shift.
Yeah.
This is maybe like a 30-degree shift.
30, maybe 45.
Yeah.
About face. And before we get track by track, I just want to mention that there was 3 or 4 songs released before the album came out, and a lot of that caused some people to be concerned.
Yes, it caused me to be concerned.
Yeah,
as well as yourself.
Yeah, I was a little concerned.
But then you also said it doesn't matter what they put out. I'll like it anyway.
It's true. They could, like they say, you can't polish a turd, but Blink-182 can, and I will pay a lot of money for that turd.
In your eyes,
yes, I'll probably buy a couple copies of that turd, and I'll smile about it, and probably taste it. But anyways, it worked out in the end. I think a lot of people's concerns were laid to rest. So shall we dive in?
Yeah.
I've got 4 recommendations. Scratch that. I've got 5.
Okay.
No ratings. I think it's a really good album, and I think it works well as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic album, and it definitely does work well.
Yes. Jumping into track number 1, which is my first recommendation. It's called The First Time.
First Time.
So Blink-182,
nothing like the first time.
I think they most bands, but especially including Blink, they very much consciously deliver on their first song, and always make it like a really good one. Like every single first song that they've done is just great.
Yeah.
Every single album, and I think this is no exception. And I wonder, like they had mentioned a long time ago that this was going to be closer to the Untitled, darker sounding.
Yeah.
The very like first part of this song, there's like that flange on the drums, and it's kind of likened to the flange on the drums of Feeling This.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I thought of whenever I heard that.
I think a lot of people did too.
I was like, okay,
but
that
then
sounds like the Untitled album.
As soon as the music starts,
it's nothing like
nothing like that. It gets like real heavy and then kind of slows down in the verses. But there's like a pre-chorus where there's programmed drums that you hear for the first time on this record.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a recurring thing. Travis, I think, was in charge of that, which you think, why aren't you playing real drums? It's just an aesthetic he wanted.
Yeah.
He does a lot of producing now, too. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. He produces a lot of like rap
hip-hop,
albums.
rap,
and
yeah. So he's that influence is definitely
a whole
here.
bunch of stuff. He's crazy busy all the time.
But it's really good. There's also a cowbell in the pre-chorus.
Oh.
I don't know if you pick up on it. If you listen to it again, you'll hear the cowbell.
Probably will,
so I don't know if that's another throwback to Feeling This or if they're just putting cowbell in there because it's awesome.
Who knows?
Either way, it's pretty cool. Lyrically, the song sounds kind of happy, like about the first time being great, but I think it's more alluding to how everything gets more diluted and like that experience is depleted the more it happens.
On,
like they talk about love and they talk a lot about drugs, like the addictive stuff. So
drugs and drinking and whatnot.
But anyways, the very last chorus is double timed and it's dope. That's all I gotta say about that one.
In this song, you really get a good sense of how Skiba is gonna like influence this album.
I think kind of, but I don't think you get that for a couple of songs. I think in a couple of songs you really get a feel.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, just like it seems like on California, he almost had to fit into what Blink-182 was.
Yeah, what they were doing on that record, he was just kind of there.
He was just kind of there, but now this time
he comes into his own.
Yeah, he kind of he's able to sing how he wants and write melodies how he wants and sing about things that he would normally sing about.
It's true. So, it's very true. Speaking of which, he sings no lines on the very next song, which is called Happy Days.
I love this song.
For me, it's an iffy song.
Really?
It was one of the singles where I was kind of like, it's not bad. Like it sound like the drums are really cool in the verse. It sounds awesome. The chorus is catchy and dope. But I was every time they sing that chorus, I wanna feel happy days, happy days.
Yeah.
It's a little campy for me.
A little campy. I mean, yeah, it's campy, but
I can get past it because
I still like it though.
Lyrically, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hoppus was pretty open about where he was writing for this record.
Yeah.
He said he was in like a quite a bit of a depression. Like after the California album cycle was done touring, Travis went and was doing all his producing, doing all kinds of stuff. Skiba went back to Alkaline Trio to make a new record.
Yeah.
And Mark was like doing nothing.
He was kind of on his own.
Yeah, just like laying in his bed being depressed.
Yeah.
And this song kind of talks about some depression. And it comes back on the rest of the record. But I think that's... he didn't want to make a happy record, so this song is saying how he wants to feel happy days, but he's not quite there yet.
Yeah,
he's in the walls of isolation inside of the brain.
The walls of isolation inside of my brain, in my pain.
My pain. I always want to say brain, but you know.
I know. And I'd love for me to change. Yeah,
but it's a very catchy song.
Yeah.
And if this is the most iffy song for me, then I think that's a good sign.
I like it. I like it a lot because of the message behind it.
It's a great message
because of the lyrics.
Yeah. Hey kid, don't quit your daydream.
Don't quit your daydream. Yeah.
Not a day job, because everyone says don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
Don't quit your daydream. Keep trying.
Yeah.
It's a nice little turn of a phrase.
I don't believe.
Yeah. And moving on to track number 3, which is called Heaven.
Heaven. This is a great song.
This is where the record gets dark.
Yep.
I think Skiba kind of comes into his own a little bit more here than on the first track.
Yeah.
You know what this one's inspired by, right?
All the mass shootings?
Yeah. One in particular, though, was the Thousand Oaks shooting in California in 2018.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was like 2 miles from Travis Barker's house.
Oh, really?
So super close.
Dang.
The chorus, they say halos left, or they say angel wings at the bus stop, halos left on top of the bar.
Wings on the bus stop.
Halos left on top of the bar. Heaven doesn't want me now. But that's a direct reference to the shooting because there were people who were shot like in a bar and at a bus station.
Yeah.
So it was just people like waiting at the bus or sitting at a bar,
just
living life and then getting shot up and massacred.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think Mark said it's about living in America in 2019. So it's
I mean, it makes sense. Like there have been so many mass shootings.
Yeah.
And due to how social media has affected us, we just like kind of forget about it.
We get bombarded by it. Once that 24 news hour cycle is done, it's another something bad happening.
Yeah.
We're just bombarded.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I don't know if it's necessarily worse than history was before, but we just The
Well,
news
yeah.
makes it in your face.
I mean, you definitely don't want to compare it to that, right? Because then you'll make
No.
exceptions.
True. Very true. But in that context, it's a very dark song.
Yeah, it really is.
Even though the chorus is big and catchy.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, apart from the song being, the subject matter being very dark, the chorus is one of my favorite choruses
It's a great chorus.
in the whole album.
Yeah, big and just
There's
super,
only,
super
I think
catchy.
there's only one other song that I think the chorus is catchier.
Well, we'll see which one that is.
See which one it is, yeah.
Maybe it's the next one. I don't know. Track number 4 is called Dark Side, and it's my next recommendation.
This is also Skiba, right? Or no,
They both
that's
do.
both of them.
Yeah. I think this is the catchiest of the all the singles they put out before the record came out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I heard them on I don't know if it was an interview or on a radio show, but they kind of liken this to a Joy Division song. So they're kind of writing for that dancey, I don't want to say 80s vibe, but like definitely that dancey
Just like
feel.
dancey, yeah. Well, yeah, you get the 4 to the floor with the
4 to the
drums on this
floor.
one.
Plus they open the hi-hats on the upbeat for certain parts, and it's very, very dancey.
Yeah.
Every time the chorus hits, I just want to dance.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear it, it's just very, very catchy.
I was listening to the song today when I was running on the elliptical at the YMCA, and I matched my stride to the beat of the song.
I have to really try not to do that, because if you start listening to something too fast and you match the strides,
It's really bad.
you're gonna burn yourself out.
Yeah.
I think you can find Spotify playlists for running that are set to certain BPMs.
Really, that makes sense. Yeah.
It'll help you out if you're trying to run to music. Did you see the music video?
Yeah. It looks like they work for Target.
Yeah, it kind of does. They're all wearing those
They're all
weird
wearing
red polos.
red polos.
But it's a bunch of little kids doing dance moves that were apparently from Fortnite.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was dance moves in video games.
Yeah.
But
100%.
there are.
There have been since World of Warcraft, Steve. Back in 2008.
I only know about people doing in Halo teabagging. That's the only dance. That's not even a dance move.
Each. I won't really go into all the dance, but yeah, there are dances for different races in World of Warcraft. You just hit
Interesting.
/ dance, and then your character starts dancing.
It's so weird. I don't know these things.
But yeah, what was it? One of them was like what's it called? Flossing.
Flossing. I know that one from Saturday Night Live. That Katy Perry thing.
Katy Perry thing. Yeah.
The backpack kid.
Yeah, backpack boy.
A lot of people said this video is cringy. I don't think it's cringy. I just think it's goofy.
It's
bunch of kids having a fun time.
It's very goofy.
Yeah, not my favorite video, but I wouldn't say cringy.
It's definitely not cringy.
Yeah.
But
Some people say it is.
it is like I watched the video and I was like,
Yeah, same.
Whatever.
The behind the scenes was cool because they show how
they
the camera
filmed
pans, and then as the camera moves by, they move a whole bunch of things in, because it was like a bunch of it was like one camera shot, and then they kind of made it work somehow.
Yeah.
Moving on to track number 5, which is called Blame It on My Youth. Blame it on my youth. This was the first single that was released, so this was everyone's first taste of 9.
Yeah.
When I heard it, I was like, oh, this is what we're doing.
blame it on my youth.
Yeah, it's
blame it
electronic sounding, super mainstream poppy.
Yeah.
Guitars are there, but they're not like distorted. They're not that up front.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like that huge onto it at first. The chorus isn't like a big explosive chorus that you'd expect for Blink-182.
No, not really.
And a lot of people were like, this album is gonna not be good.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I listened to it, the more it grew on me.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
now I really enjoy this song.
Yeah, and I think like as you listen to the album like straight through, it fits pretty well.
It does. I'm glad they released it first. Well, some people think they were trolling, or maybe some people thought they were going like better, like singles they were trying to release good, better up to the album
and
release.
then the album would be the best thing. Yeah.
Who knows?
Which, I mean...
Some people also argue that if you just put all your best songs out as singles, then the rest of the album is just like the leftovers.
Yeah.
All the fillers left. But who knows? Anyways, I'm glad they released it for summer because I think it's a good summer jam.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Good to drive with your windows open. Also, it sounds way better live. I saw them do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the guitars are turned up. It's better.
Huh. Interesting. I guess that does make sense.
Yeah. Let's move on to a way different sounding song. Track number 6 is called Generational Divide.
Yeah.
Definitely the shortest song on the record by far. 49 seconds long.
Yeah, 49 seconds.
It's all fast punk. He says, is it better now? Are we better now? And they just kind of repeat that and then add some layers.
Yeah.
Some fans said that this was like a response to the critique of Blink-182, either on the first song or on California. But I don't think it is. Mark Hoppus said it was about like an argument with his son or something.
Really?
And originally, it was supposed to be like a 3-minute long song that was kind of like slower mid-tempo.
Oh,
and then this
right,
is the tail
yeah.
end of it.
Yeah.
And they scrapped the beginning part and just left this. I guess that makes sense in the context of they also have Ransom on the record, so you don't want two of those same formats, perhaps. But
Yeah.
Blink-182 is no stranger to repeating formats or arrangements. So
No,
who
definitely
does?
not.
But it's an awesome little short song. My only gripe is I wish it was longer because it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's my only complaint with that song and Ransom.
Yeah,
is that I wish
Ransom's longer.
I wish they
than
were
this.
longer.
Yeah,
well, I mean Ransom is like what, 2 minutes long, like a minute 25.
Minute 25 exactly. I think. Yeah. Let's move on to track number 7, which is called "Runaway." More programmed drums. Some more moody, dark sounding stuff. Again, to a big chorus. This one's one of the ones that doesn't stand out as much. I mean, it's a great song, but I think it just kind of blends in with the rest of the album.
Yeah, it's almost like if someone were to ask me like, hey, like name me some songs from Blink-182's new album, I would probably forget that this is on the album.
Yeah,
but
definitely
as
would not
I'm
be my
listening,
first one.
as I'm listening through to it, like it would come on and I'd be like, oh yeah, I know this song.
Yeah, and I liked it. It's good.
Yeah,
and I like how the last chorus is double time. Every time I hear that, I'm like, ooh,
yeah. It's the moment.
It's not a moment. It's just like ooh. It's more like a ooh. Yeah, it's an ooh moment, I should say. Moving on to track number 8, which is my next recommendation, Black Rain.
Good song.
This one's real kind of crazy for a lot of reasons. Like it starts off they start off with the chorus, which is different for Blink, and it's just Skiba singing over top of this church organ.
Tragedy,
and there's a passing chord.
Yeah, which is definitely not Blink-182.
No, so I wonder if Skiba wrote that, or maybe John Feldman put it in. Who knows? But it's not what you'd expect from them. It sounds really cool.
Yeah.
And then the verses are out there. Like it's influenced. Like it sounds heavy. There's lots of like stops and hits.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of trap influence and electronic sounding, and it's real like aggressive sounding.
Yeah.
A little electronic. It's just it's out there, and then it comes back to the second chorus where it's all stripped back with this kind of like a groove almost, and you glide in. It's the same chorus, but no church organ again.
Yeah.
Then you get another verse, and then the last chorus is like super duper heavy sounding, like these heavy guitars.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really interesting arrangement for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Such an outlier on the album.
Yeah, it's really. I really like it though.
I do too. Lyrically, it was influenced by Skiba had watched the movie Spotlight.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw that, but it's all about the abuse in the Catholic Church by priests on the children. So
I remember when that came out.
This goes to some dark places.
Very dark places.
Interesting movie if you ever want to watch it. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. I think it won Best Picture a couple of years ago, but I don't remember.
Okay.
If it didn't win, it was up for it.
Okay.
Let's move on to track number 9 on album 9. The song's called "I Really Wish I Hated You." This was another
single, right?
The last single they released. Yeah. It's definitely slower and more pop influenced than a lot of things on this record. Very mainstream sounding.
And I really wish I hated this song.
I really wasn't a fan at first.
I was not either.
It's got some weird stuff. Like there's some weird vocal runs in the verse.
This song specifically, you can definitely hear the production on Mark's voice.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Like a lot.
When he hits that low note.
What's the line that he hits with a low note?
I don't think about you anymore.
Anymore. And it's like, ooh, that's really auto-tuned. And
yeah, they had to have, that's really low note. They had to.
Really pristine sounding.
Yeah, a little too much.
But
then it's just really catchy, and you listen to it a few times, and you find yourself singing along. You're like,
yeah.
I like this song.
Yeah, no, that's literally what happened. Like the more I listened to it, I would end the album, and then I'd be like, I don't really like myself without
and you're like, what
you.
What am I doing?
I think it's still about. And I was like, wait a second, why am I singing that song?
I think this song is getting the most radio play off of the album right now.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of people are thinking the same thing.
It's pretty crazy. Like on some of their Instagram stories, they like reposted some guy who was like, can we just acknowledge that Blink-182 is dropping awesome music? And it was that song, and I was like, come on now. But after I listened to it even more, I was like, yeah, he's probably right. It's pretty good.
Originally, I think they had written this as a slower song.
Yeah.
And then they turned it into a fast song, and they said this was the one that got rewritten so many times.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I want to hear the other versions.
Yeah.
I'm curious now. Let's move on to a 180 sound. 180 degrees from
180
I Wish
degree.
I Hated
Yeah.
You. Track number 10, which is my next recommendation, is called Pin the Grenade.
Nice. Yeah. This one's also like on Spotify. It's one of their like most played songs.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's back to the catchy pop punk.
Yeah.
Probably one of the more pop punk. I'd say this and the first time were like the pop punk songs on the record.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
The rest of them are kind of like darker and moodier sounding. But this is awesome. Like it's got a little bit of syncopated drums in the verse, which are really cool sounding. And then someone pulled a pin on that grenade and it explodes in the chorus. It gets real big.
Wait.
Pin the grenade if you don't love me, light on my face. So grenades, if you're like thinking of it as a visual, you have to pull the pin out and then release the handle and throw it and it explodes. So if you put the pin back in, you're releasing any danger of it blowing up.
Yeah.
It's an interesting song. Have you read all the lyrics? I mean, you can gather what it is from the chorus.
Yeah.
If you don't love me, lie to my face.
Yeah.
So a guy realizes the relationship's
hey.
ending
Just
or blowing up.
I want to keep the status quo.
He's like, yeah, even if you don't love me, just lie to my face and pretend so that we can keep going.
Yeah, not exactly the best thing to do though.
No, but it's so catchy.
Yeah, it really is.
I love this song. It's real boppy.
This is one of the two songs where we hear Mark go into his higher register, which I really like.
You really hear his high register at the end of Hungover You.
Yeah, well, that's the other one I was talking about.
But we'll go there later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Hangover is for another time.
It wasn't there a song in California where he also sang really high?
Probably quite a bit, but I can't think of which one.
I can't think of specifics, but for some reason, like whenever he goes to his high register, I'm like, I really like the sound of his voice when he's in the high register.
His timbre is nice. Yeah.
But anyway.
I agree. Moving on to track number 11, which is called No Heart to Speak of. This is a Skiba song.
Yeah.
Even though Mark sings one of the verses,
definitely.
This is like Skiba's shining moment on the album.
Yeah, because he whenever he sings No Heart, like really up high, he's like, No heart to speak of.
Yes.
And you get that classic like Alkaline Trio Skiba voice going on.
This sounds like the most passionate Skiba's been in his Blink run so far.
Yeah, which I'm glad.
And at the bridge, I wouldn't say he screams at the end of the bridge, but he gets a real gritty shout at the end of that. At the end of the bridge, going to the last chorus, and you're like, "Ooh, Skiba's getting mad."
Yep.
Thematically, it's like lyrically, it's kind of reminiscent of "Heart's All Gone."
Yeah.
But
your heart's all gone.
It's not as fast as that one. Let's move on to track number 12, another goofy one. Good goofy. This song is called Ransom. It starts off odd. It's really electronic.
Yeah, it's real
and
slow.
And you hear heavy auto-tune on Mark's voice.
Yeah, it's real slow. And
not like the auto-tune where it sounds pristine, but like the T-Pain auto-tune.
Yeah.
Where it's bouncing around and you're like, whoa, what is this? What is this doing on a Blink-182 record? This is odd. And for about 42 to 43 seconds, it's this weird little slow, strange sounding song.
Yeah.
It explodes into a fast punk rock song.
Yeah. It's
in the same
awesome.
vein as Generational Divide.
Yeah. Now she's holding him for ransom.
So catchy.
Yeah.
I think because they have the slower part at the beginning, it's at the perfect length.
Yeah.
If it was just the very end, like the last half, I'd say way too short. But it's really nice having those juxtapositions of the slow, auto-tune, weird electronic beginning and then the fast, awesome punk song at the end.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool song.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on to track number 13, which is on some emo. If you were just to look at the title, you'd be like, oh, it's a joke track.
Yeah, it's not, though.
It's not. There are no joke tracks on this record. That's one of the things they made sure not to do, as opposed to California, where there was quite a few.
Yeah. What was that one? The swimming pool one?
Yeah, Built This Pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goofy song. If you read the lyrics without the music, though, it definitely is an emo-sounding song. Like, the lyrics are super emo.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't really tell 100% what's going on. Like, obviously a girl that he's been in a relationship has left.
Yeah.
Some lines lead me to believe that she's died via suicide. There was a poster on his wall saying she's missing, or last time he saw her, she was standing on the edge.
Yeah. There are quite a few lyrics to kind of allude to that.
But then later on in the song, he talks about, like, if you see me smile, like, kind of things to say that maybe she's not.
Saw her.
But it's pretty good. It's a really good song. It's another darker sounding song.
It is, yeah.
But I like it. Very emotional sounding.
Yeah.
Moving on to track number 14, the penultimate track. The song's called "Hung Over You," and it's my last recommendation.
My favorite song on the album.
Mine too, actually.
100%.
It's a which
fantastic
is
song.
So odd because I have seen a ton of reviews where people were like either super indifferent about the song or saying it's like a throwaway track. And I think this is
so weird.
I think this is the catchiest chorus
because they both I think it definitely is the catchiest chorus. Besides, which one did I say it was? One of the catchiest was one of the first ones.
Happy Days.
Happy Days. I can't remember.
No, Heaven is what you said.
Heaven, yeah.
But there's some vocal jumps, like some notes that like the first time I heard it, I was not expecting da 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 da, and like I was not expecting that melody. It threw me off. I was like, oh, what is this?
Well, like
and it really threw me off.
Whenever I first heard this song, like I just wasn't expecting Mark to sing like really high right away. A bottle for breakfast, trying to let go.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is great.
Fast over this weird little program beat.
Yeah.
And it's really, really kind of cool. And Skiba does the high parts at the beginning. It feels like last night you came over. And then
now I wake up and you're nowhere.
Mark comes in with the low part. I got my head hung over you. I guess I'm still hung over you. But later on in the song, they switch.
Yeah.
And Hoppus does the high part. You're like, whoa!
Yeah, I know. Whenever I first heard it, I was like, is that Mark singing the high part now? I was like, it is. This is great.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love when that happens.
But I think the whole structure of the song, the way they build like the climax in the song, and just like the whole thing is very, very well put together. Yeah.
And I like the double meaning, like the guy's an alcoholic having his bottle for breakfast and he's hungover, but he's also hungover. He's stuck on that girl.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little double meaning. A little fun.
Yeah.
A little fun writing that.
I really like that song.
Yeah, I do too.
It's fantastic.
That's why I was so I saw multiple people who were indifferent about it, and I was like, this song's
What were their reason? What was their reasoning?
People they thought it was just like
they were just like, man,
generic song.
Okay.
I was like, that's great. You people are idiots.
Weird.
They're wrong. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I also really like the outro. It's like got the doof, doof,
yeah,
doof, and there's like
that's the only part where I thought, I guess this song maybe is almost like the Untitled album in a way, like because if you remember from that, like the Untitled album, what was it, the track before
the Fallen Interlude?
Yeah, the Fallen Interlude.
Some weird stuff
before Stockholm Syndrome.
I think it was before Down. I can't remember.
It was before a song, but anyway, yeah. That kind of had a similar feel in a way. So like in a way, maybe that was what they were talking about.
I can see that.
But I have absolutely no idea why people do not like that song.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think it's great. Moving on to the last song. the last. That's a mix between track and song.
Yeah, track and song.
Last song. Track number 15 is called "Remember to Forget Me."
Yeah,
they could have called it "Forget to Remember Me." Same exact thing. They could have, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they should have.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Forget to remember to forget.
No, see, whenever
one's intentional.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Remember to forget me.
They're similar. They're not the same.
No, they're not the same at all.
Similar.
They're not similar.
Let's let's disagree to forget to remember.
They're the same words, but they're different entirely.
It's
forget to remember me.
It's a meeting of the minds here, people.
Yeah. Only on American Brews and Tunes.
Yeah.
Well, we argue about
things and
the
remember
same words
what the truth is. This is their ballad on the record. Save the ballad for last.
Yeah.
Acoustic intro. Nice little acoustic stuff, which you really don't get acoustic too often from Blink ever. So it's fun to hear. A lot of people compared this to the song off of California, Home is Such a Lonely Place. Another kind of acoustic ballad, but that one's kind of about being home and being lonely. This one's about leaving home.
Yeah.
But I could see why people would say that.
I never thought about that, to be honest. I never thought, this is kind of like Home is Such a Lonely Place.
I don't think that either. I've read it a ton.
I never made the connection to that.
I still don't. I could see why people did it. I just didn't make that connection.
I don't think there's any connection.
They talk about home.
I mean,
leaving.
That's the only connection.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I immediately thought about the connection between No Heart to Speak of and Heart's All Gone.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately made the connection to that, but not to this.
Okay, I see that. I think there's some. This is a song that has some of the cheesiest lyrics on the record for me,
Yeah.
but I can get past it because it's super catchy.
What about the Campy Happy Days?
I think this has more cheesy lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah, like we both said it's wrong. It don't make it right.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of things I hear those lyrics. I'm like, they probably could have done a little better, but I let it slide because I really like the song.
I don't know. There's something about very non-metaphorical, just intentional lyrics like that. That almost, I guess maybe it gets to
it's
a
little
point.
Earnest.
It gets to a point where it works, right?
I think they're saying it earnestly enough that it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like someone just trying to fit in cliches because it sounds good.
Because they don't know what else to say or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I like how the song crescendos.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a really nice build up. But I think after the last verse where it's kind of like, there's like an outro chorus kind of that's real like stripped back. But before that, there's like this awesome like musical outro. I don't know what you would call it, like the post-chorus music. But it's
pre-outro.
really cool because it's like maybe 30, 40, 50 seconds of like this awesome musical part where all kind of things are going on. It just sounds really cool. It's just a fun way to end the record, I think.
Yeah.
You probably could have flipped this and Hung Over You and maybe had it work. And I'm literally just thinking of that outro on Hung Over You.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But this works too. This works quite well.
Well, I guess I'm trying to think of it the other way now. And it probably would still work, yeah.
Either way would have worked, but
I'm sure they flipped tracks around quite a bit.
yeah. But I'm happy with the way they sequence the record. I think it works really well.
Yeah, I think it works real well. It has a nice flow.
Yeah.
Nice flow to the record.
Biggest takeaway, I think they consciously tried to do something different from California.
Yeah.
I think there's some woes. I don't think there's any na-na-nas.
No.
There's not that bubblegum pop punk as much as you got on California.
Yeah.
Skiba sounds like Skiba.
Yeah, which is really nice. He doesn't sound like he's trying to do Tom DeLonge.
Yeah.
Which is good.
The album is darker. They tried new stuff. I think it worked. I think they took some risks here, and I think it paid off. I'm super happy with the record. I'm happy with everything they put out, though. So I'm not the best authoritative reviewer.
Well, I'll say that whenever I first heard the singles, I was like, I had no expectations. I was like, this isn't going to be good, and I'm not going to like it. Just purely based on the singles.
Maybe they did that on purpose.
I know. That's what makes me think they did do that on purpose.
A lot of people think they did.
But who knows if they did. Doesn't really matter.
Who knows?
Either way, after I got over the overproduction of it, I like it a lot.
Yeah. That's more Feldman in there for you.
Yeah.
I wish they would go with someone else. I mean, I like John Feldman because he kind of... he forces them to pump out material, kind of, and he keeps them going.
Yeah.
I don't like the overproduction, but
yeah,
if he gets them to keep pumping out music, go for it.
Yeah.
Because I just want more. That's all I want.
Did he do Untitled?
No, California. Jerry Finn did Untitled.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. Jerry Finn did all the records from End of the State to Untitled.
And he passed away, right?
Yes, right before Neighborhoods. I'm super happy with this. Like I said, I'm excited to see where they go next.
Yeah, same.
They'll branch out. Who knows what they'll do? It'll be awesome.
It'll probably be.
I know they said they got an EP coming out.
Oh, really?
They said maybe by the end of the year. It's going to be weird. Cool. Like they said, they collaborated with Pharrell.
Oh,
and
right.
Lil Uzi Vert.
Tell me about that.
So it might not be as Blink sounding as you think. It might be really out there.
Yeah, that could be cool though.
Or maybe it's super poppy. Maybe it's rap. I have no idea. I want to hear it.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But either way, I enjoyed that album a lot.
Let us know what you guys think. Hit us up on all the social medias. American Brews and Tunes. Shoot us an email at brewsandtunespodcast.com.
On Instagram.
Oh, no, it's americanbrewsandtunes@gmail.com. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instagram, Twitter.
Instagram.
Facebook.
Twitter. Facebook.
Facebook. Looking forward to next week. We are going to review a recommended album.
Yes.
The album is Kaleidoscope Heart by Sarah Bareilles. Recommended by Rebecca Romeo.
I only know...
You'll know at least 2 songs on there, probably.
It's the one... what's the one that I know off of that one?
It's King of Anything?
Who made you
king of anything?
Who says that you disagree? Who made you king of anything? Who?
I listened to that record maybe half a dozen times so far, and it's I quite like it a bit.
Okay.
I think you'll get into it.
Cool.
probably our first. Have we reviewed any female-fronted stuff? I mean,
Courtney Barnett.
oh, that's right. But we've not reviewed any female-fronted piano albums. So this is a first for us. Wow.
Yeah, Courtney Barnett is all guitar.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that. And then we'll go to another one-off and then back to recommendations for each other.
Once we figure out what we're going to recommend to each other. I've got an idea, but I like to think about it a little bit longer.
I've got a couple ideas.
Okay.
But we'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there.
Wait, so this is 85. Next week's 86.
Yeah.
And then the next one-off is 87. So we're going to be 88. It's going to be a repeat. So the next recommendation we do for each other is going to be a repeat. So have that in mind. Any thoughts on the beer before we sign off?
It has... I don't know if it's just because I have only a tiny bit left, but it almost feels a little bit less intense. Like the flavors have almost mellowed as it warmed up.
I think it stayed fairly consistent, but you could be right too.
It also might be because I'm taking very small sips now.
Well, that'll do it too.
But I like the beer. It's
a good
fantastic.
Brew. Way to go, Stone, as if there was any doubt.
Yeah, obviously.
Right.
Undoubtable.
Let's give this the old 1-2 shibbity boo down.
1-2 shibbity boo.
As we always say on American Brews and Tunes.
Shibbity boo
down the end of the podcast hatch. Yeah, good beer, good album.
Yeah.
Once again, my name is Stephen Johnston.
My name is Jesse Titus.
And that wraps it for American Brews and Tunes.
Wow!
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-da.